Hello. So the first question for the assignment was utilizing the components of the perception process, selection, organization, interpretation, negotiation. Explain your reaction to this experiment. So I think that the way that the experiment was made and how it was following through was that so they selected people. Selection is all about selecting people. And what the big picture, I guess you can say, of this experiment was to, instead of like showing people, instead of showing these students that they can be separated by skin color, like how society usually is depicted, or how society usually splits us up. So instead of doing it by skin color, they're doing it by eye color. So that's one thing. That's the selection part of it. The organization is the way that they are separating the students into these two sections. The people with blue eyes were sitting in the middle, and people with brown eyes were sitting in around them. And this was a way of showing the students how I guess you could say how brown people feel, like in society, just in general, because that's usually how society is sadly split up. And so that's what they were trying to demonstrate in this experiment, to separate people based on their eye color. And that was the organization part. And I think the students like made a connection about that. I know that some students were talking about it and how they actually felt, like how it was actually accurate. And then the interpretation part of this was just assigning the meaning of it. So in this case, the meaning of separating the blue-eyed students and the brown-eyed students, the way that they did it, like I said, it was to put the blue-eyed students in the middle of the classroom and the brown-eyed students all around them. So that way they feel like some type of pressure, because that's how society that's how society splits us up, basically. So, and I noticed that a lot of the some of the blue-eyed students did feel that pressure, and I saw in the video that one of them walked out. So the meaning that they put behind this is that there is racism still, and that racism still exists in a way. I know that when the students in the middle were treated badly, like I saw in their faces that they weren't okay with it. And usually it doesn't happen to white people. It mostly happens to brown people, people of color. And so that's what they were trying to show in this experiment. And then for the negotiation part of this perception process, was they just made their own interpretations and their own explanation on like why this happened and how it applies to their lives. So that's how they are learning that racism still exists in this world. And then the second question: what did this experiment reveal about your perception of others in terms of perception influencers? This experiment revealed that there is people that still put pressure on others, or not pressure, but they just influence others to act the way they act towards people who are different from them. It revealed that perception is really important, because if one person thinks something of someone and he tells that other person will think just like them. So the influences are very important. And I think that this experiment really shows us how influences can affect people's opinion and the perception of other people. So that would be basically how racism is made and how it keeps on continuing. I think this experiment really showed that. And there was a lot of like influence on the blue-eyed people sitting in the middle, because one of them thought, oh, this isn't right, and then the other one kind of like went along with it. So that's how we can like show that people are influenced by others, and that's why racism continues and keeps on going. Thank you.